Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide, Elpy. And even though what you see under here is mixed worm bin number 1, we're actually going into mixed worm bin number 2 today. But first, today is the 2nd of February 2025. The last time we were in this bin was the 24th of January 2025, so 9 days ago. Prior to that, it had been the 17th of January. So 6 days, and last time we finished harvesting the castings that have been way too wet, and I put them in 2 separate buckets, so I got a little under 4 gallons of castings. And I've been, while watching back the previous video, there's a cocoon. I have just sort of been stirring just the top of this, because actually what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to take another bucket and I'm going to dump these out into different buckets so as to access the bottom of this bin. And I know the stuff at the bottom isn't as dry. So, and I have scooped out maybe half dozen worms or so, and I know there's more down there. So why don't you real quick help me stir this one. This actually, I believe, is the second harvest. So the harvest from last time. The other bucket that you were just looking at was the harvest from the 17th. So what I'm doing, I think these are actually plastic. Thanks to a viewer for saying maybe plastic isn't good in the bins. And I'm like, oh, they're tea bags. And I thought, are they plastic tea bags though? Or at least non-biodegradable. I've just been taking them out to be further researched. So yeah, I'm just gonna just sort of stir these, just the top several inches. And I'm not seeing any worms in this one, but I'm sure they're, oh, spoke too soon. There are more farther down. They always do sort of congregate at the bottom whenever I put them in buckets. Okay, well, like I said, next time I'm going to get a couple other buckets and maybe even 1 5-gallon and just dump them over. It's easier than trying to dig all the way down to the bottom right now. But I'm taking these pieces and throwing them back into the bin. So yeah, they're looking good. These are going to be awesome to use in the spring. I'm very excited. All right, now let's go check out the bin. So here we are in mixed worm bin 2. This is the pile of stuff that I was picking out of those two. It doesn't appear to be any worms on here. Yeah, so that was the stuff that I picked out of both of those bins. This was the previous blanket that is very, very wet. So last time what we did was we cleared all this stuff out. That's a pine cone. We cleared the left side out, harvested it, added new material, and they were fed on the 17th, and I did not feed them last time. But I added wet toilet paper rolls, dry shredded paper, wet toilet paper rolls, my dry mix, some parsley, and then I think more paper on top. So let's go ahead. And I thought that this stuff was a little bit dry. This bin is nowhere near harvesting, so I don't care. So I want it to be more wet than not. So I did add a little bit of water at the end. But let's see. There's the parsley still sticking around. Oddly enough, I did just see a worm. The worms are kind of under there. So the worms have happily, I'd like to say, moved into the new material. This is the residual pepper from, this is actually from, yeah, the Time for Pie feeding. So the 22nd of December 2024. We see that the worms are on the surface, at least, of the new material. Kind of digging down. Seeing them down in there. And I also put some hair in there. The further we dig, a lot of hair. Yep. No surprise. The worms are all in the new material. I mean, again, it's been 9 days, so yeah, they're over here. They are in it. And that's actually the side I am going to feed them. I can tell you that without even looking at the last feeding, because this is new material. And yeah, now let's go ahead. This is actually the feeding area. See, look at all these worms over here. All in this shredded paper. Oh yeah, they're all in that. I think I did kind of spread it out a little bit more. But and did I say that these guys are no longer in the time for pie? Day 26, their pie was gone for sure, I'm sure. It actually disappeared before that. So this is PETA. There are mites down here, but nothing I'm concerned about. Okay. See, this stuff is moist, but it's on the drier end of moist, and that's not what I want to see in this bin. There's some persimmons from the feeding on the 17th, which I was surprised to find. Go check out bin 1 from this week. They got a day earlier. Wait, I said 10 days for them. Right. 23rd. Oh, yeah. Lots of worms. But I was really surprised to see how much of their fruit. Tons of worms down here. As is pretty standard fare for this bin. This little pile of worms of all sizes. So, I am going to be adding more moisture to this bin. Well, actually, I'm going to give them heavy feeding. Yeah. So they'll get a little bit of they'll get I will be adding additional water. I should say I will be adding water in addition to the feeding, but I will keep in mind that the feeding is going to produce a lot of moisture. So, all right. Everything overall is good though. Worms all throughout. I think I was going to just feed directly in the new stuff. I think I'm going to kind of feed. I'm going to feed up there, not right in the middle of the new stuff. So all this new paper I'm going to put, and okay, this is a food container, like a to-go box. It does have sort of a waxy coating. Those were actually dried figs. And this is that cucumber that I harvested seeds from that I talked about in my seed table talks, episode 2 and 3. I got probably at least a couple hundred seeds out of this one Sumter cucumber that I harvested in, I believe, September of 2024, and it didn't start to rot until December 2024. I shit you not, for real. It sat in the house for months before it even started to think about rotting. I mean, you know it's true because I show the rotten. If it just now was looking that rotten in January, come on. Okay, just a minute. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. I've added some things from my bird cages. I got a little bit of bird poo on them, not a lot. Mainly because I don't like messing with the bird poo indoors. So a little bit, no problem, but I don't want to go. And so I'm also adding more persimmons. They have been frozen. And I'm not going to tear these papers up. These I've folded up because they had a lot of other, I give my birds these, like drink carriers. So those are going to go in this hole. The paper, that is. I'm going to squeeze these. Okay. And here's another paper. Sort of go in with the mix. Help to absorb it. Pocket. And now for the fun part. You guys, I know some of you worm people are about to feel kind of funny. That's not nearly as bad as... That is a significant amount of water. I ain't worried about it. Not at all, not at all. So let's go ahead and cover that up. Put this parsley over there. And because I'm crazy, I'm gonna add some more. I know, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna account for the fact that the persimmons are, yeah. I am accounting for it. Okay, so that's gonna make for a really interesting situation. But remember, this bin is basically new. So I need to add more material to it. You see, for me, this is pretty shallow. See, it's way down here. So if I come in here next time and it's a bathtub down there, 1, I think the worms will like it. 2, there's a lot of material in here that's yet ready to, that has yet absorbed moisture to its fullest. And 3, we're in the phase of just adding more material to this bin anyways. So, okay, cool. I said in bin 1 that I am going to wait at least a week to check back in on them. And that's because they're moving, I'm moving them towards harvest, and they still had a lot of food, which I was kind of surprised. A lot of persimmons intact. So I was going to feed them this time, but since I'm moving them towards harvest, I'm like, no, we're going to let them be. So I'm going to wait at least a week. So at least till the 9th of February. Notice I said at least. This bin, since I just dumped all that water, no more than a week, maybe less than a week for these guys. So before the 9th. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, well, that's it for bin number 2. This is the newest in term, no. This is not the newest because I have the new Canadian Nightcrawler bin. Be sure to check that out. We're going to check in on them too. They are, in terms of my older bins, they are this is the newest material-wise. 1 and 4, I'm moving. Well, we're thinking about harvesting. 3 is just in the works. The blue bin is in the works as well. That's a small population. They're moving along slowly, but yeah. But so, and the Canadian Nightcrawler bin is brand new. But in terms of my older bins, this material is the newest. So, all right, stay tuned. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and your interest. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.